Okay, sure. So, sir, it's 3, 2, 1. We are live to the audience. Over to you, Arpan, sir.
So, good morning, friends, and welcome to Live Pharma Coalition. This is Arpan Kumar Paul welcoming you to yet another interactive session on Live Pharma Coalition, and this time it is global. And the country that we are touching today is Myanmar. It's said that learning is a journey, never a destination, because the more we learn, the more we know, and that is why it gives us a chance to share our knowledge to people who have the thirst to get more knowledge about this wonderful pharmaceutical industry that we are in. But it is very important that we become very much interested in learning and accept that we do not know everything. I'll just tell you a small incident that happened in college. I had a great friend of mine who was not so good in communicative English. So it was instinctively that we all used to communicate with him in Hindi. But the fact of the matter was that he used to tell me that please talk to me in English, because if I don't communicate in English, if I don't make mistakes, I will never know where I'm going wrong. And that will not give me room to make corrections. So I still remember that his dedication and single minded focus, and not surprisingly, within a few years' time, he started speaking English flawlessly. And in many cases, he spoke better than us. So, dear friends, we all have a lot of shortcomings, whether it is a personality flaw or some skill set that we do not have in abundance. So, the first and most important step to improve is to accept and acknowledge those shortcomings. And most of us simply refuse to acknowledge our shortcomings. And for those who acknowledge, they do not take the next key step, which is to make relentless and dedicated efforts to improve. So, needless to say, only those who take both the steps will emerge a winner. And I still remember this friend of mine would pick up difficult English books to read just to come across variety of words in English and improve this their vocabulary. So this reminds me how important it is to stay grounded, stay humble, and to remind ourselves that we are far from perfection. So the key to improving is a little bit every day. So that is the way we can learn. But the first thing, we need to accept our shortcomings and then walk on the path to improving every day. Because if every day we improve 1%, then in 365 days, we will improve 365%. So now I'll take this opportunity to give a introduction of LPC. So welcome to LPC, that is Live Pharma Coalition, which is a global knowledge and networking forum for pharma professionals. Uh, we are really happy and we are really privileged to receive the Pharma Ratna Universe 2022 award as the healthcare webinar of the year. And thank you so much, Pharma Ratna, for giving this award to us. And we feel really privileged that we have been able to do good to the total pharma industry by spreading and sharing the knowledge. Now, this has only been possible because of the LPC executive team. And thank you so much to each of our executive members for giving us different ideas and suggestions, and of course, your knowledge sharing so that we can grow every day. Well, we also have a very good network of mentors and advisors who have always been there whenever we needed them. And they have never shied away from giving their invaluable suggestions so that we can improve ourselves in this learning journey. Well, we had three physical meets as well. The first was on 17 March 2022, which was at Courtyard by Marriott. And in fact, it was absolutely your support and collaboration that made this grand event a very big success. The second physical event was LPC Conclave 125 at Ahmedabad. And once again, the entire pharma industry gathered there to make this event a grand success. The third physical meet was at Navi Mumbai, that is LPC Conclave 3.0, which was in association with SIES School of Business Studies. And once again, the pharma industry made sure that LPC 3.0 conclave was a grand success. What next? Now we are planning for the LPC 150 conclave, which will be, the date is already decided, that is 5th of March 2023, which is a Sunday. The venue will be decided after a brainstorming with every executive member who would like to pitch in their venue. And we will definitely find the 150 glorious episodes of learning and sharing at that venue. So please be with LPC. We are definitely progressing as far as learning and sharing is concerned. But this journey wouldn't have been possible without Imagica Health, because Imagica Health in a nutshell explores the intersection between design, digital health technology, and content marketing for the leading brands. And they have an ex-marketeer-led team of medical writer, graphic designers, teamer, coder, and they serve the pharmaceutical industry for bettering the customer engagement, bringing patient centricity, improving control on the sales team, and increasing the return of investment for various marketing campaigns. So thank you, Imagica Health, for being such a wonderful support to our endeavor of spreading learning and development in the pharma industry. So coming to LPC 138, that is global. Today, as I said, we are going to touch Myanmar. And the topic for today is Myanmar pharma market overview and regulatory process. And to throw more light on this topic, we have Mr. Soman, who is an international pharma business consultant. And along with him, we also have Mr. Tan, who is a managing director of Golden Drug Company. And to take this discussion forward, along with me, I am ably supported by Mr. Praveen Pandey, who is a DGM International Market at Greycure Pharmaceuticals Limited. And we also have Mr. Saurav Mishra, who is AGM International Business at Otsuka Pharmaceutical India Private Limited. So for the next part of the session, I would like to hand over the proceedings to Mr. Praveen Pandey. So Praveenji, it's over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Arpan. Good morning to all viewers, audience, and it's a warm welcome for speakers and my co-panelist. This is last session of this calendar year. We have started our LPC for this calendar year with Southeast Asian market, that was Philippines, Vietnam, and we are going to end again with South Asian market only, that is Myanmar, a neighboring country. And one person says that we can change the friends, but we cannot change the neighbors. So with our understanding also, we should understand our neighbors in terms of culture, in terms of business, in terms of protocol to follow business. And for that, we should understand from expertise only. My view, which I know about Myanmar, like Myanmar is one of the easiest market to penetrate. It's easy process to get a company as well as a product to register in Myanmar, and on some minimal amount of forex, we can initiate business in Myanmar. That is my understanding. But to understand more better, yes, definitely we'll take help from expertise. In expertise, we have Mr. Than. Mr. Than is having almost 14 years experience in regulatory. For initial 9 years, he has worked with one local pharma company as a regulatory manager. And in 2018, he has started his own, that is Golden Drug Company Limited. And he is as managing director for regulatory and risk process. So welcome, Mr. Than. Our co-panelist is Mr. Saurabh, who is very good experience, and the good thing that he has started his career from Asian market. So I'll hand over to him for an introduction, and welcome for Mr. Saurabh. Saurabh, please.
Thank you, Mr. Praveen. Welcome to all our LPC viewers. This is the 138th episode, which is the evidence of a robust and very steady growth of LPC journey. And I'm very happy to be a part of it. My name is Saurabh Mishra. I bring along 10 years of experience in international business and sales. And at present, I'm working as an AGM international business for Otsuka Pharmaceuticals India Private Limited. My experience started from Southeast Asia, and Myanmar, being one of the most prominent country of Southeast Asia, is a very well understood market. But it is giving us a few mixed evidences of growth and degrowth. We see a robust policy network in Myanmar, but with frequent changes in regimes, it brings uncertainty. We see a robust growth in the market, in the pharmaceutical market, but we also see some companies leaving the market. There is always uncertainty of Forex, but still the business is growing. To understand these uncertainties, today we have with us Mr. Sauman Datta Roy, who is an international business consultant, and he has an expertise in the Myanmar market. We'll be studying from him that what exactly the Myanmar story is. To take over the session, I would request Mr. Praveen to take this session forward with Mr. Than's deliberation. Mr. Praveen, over to you.
Thank you, Saurabh. Yes, to initiate any market, to initiate business, first we have to understand the basics. And here I have just shared my overview, like what I understand about Myanmar. But what is the reality that expertise only can say? So first of all, we would like to know about Mr. Than, and followed by regulatory aspects of Myanmar. So it's over to you, Mr. Than. Warm welcome.
Hello, hi everyone. Good morning. So I would like to, firstly, I would like to say thank you for LPC for giving me a chance for sharing our regulatory process in Myanmar. So my name is Mr. Tanto Jo, Managing Director of Golden Red Company Limited. So it was established in 2018. So today I would like to talk about the registration process in Myanmar. So let me share my screen for presentation. Firstly, I would like to talk about the registration process for initial registration. Initial registration steps are total 7 steps. So firstly, if you have the samples and dosages already, we can start the application for the sample import permit. So sample quantities are required for tablets and capsule of 500, injection syrup creams are 50. So all of sample must be remaining 18 months and above shelf life. If less than 18 months, FDA will not accept it. Required documents for the sample permit applications are letter of authorization, finished product specification, labeling, artwork. These are requirements for the sample import permit. After sample submission, we can submit the dossier by online system. After samples and dossier submission, we have to remit the assessment fees and laboratory fees. Then FDA will review our samples and dossier details, and FDA will respond for the complete dossier. They will issue as the preview documents. If our dossiers are not complete, FDA will ask the additional more documents. And some dossier must be prepared carefully, because if there are some wrong documents, FDA may reject our application. This is important things. After reviewing details, FDA will issue as to remit the registration.
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Tan. Could you
Yes.
please make full screen of your slide?
Yes. Can you see my presentation screen?
Yes, we can see your presentation screen. Can you use Shift plus F5 for full screen mode?
Sir, actually, I think you shared a particular tab. Sir, you need to share the whole screen. Could you please reshare your screen, sir?
I'm sharing screen.
Now, sir, click on screen button and click on the screen option, the very first option, and then you can share your screen.
Is it okay?
The slides are visible. Okay, we can continue. No problem. The slides
Yeah.
are visible, Mr. Tan.
That's fine. That's fine. Please proceed.
Yes, yes. So these are the seven steps for the initial new registration. And next step is I would like to talk about the renewal registration process. Renewal registration process, we have to start from the submitting application form for the renewal. That is require 3 documents: letter of authorization, finished product specification, and the driver registration certificate copy, so that we can start the application. Then FDA will issue us to remit the assessment fees. After remitting the assessment fees, we can submit the samples from the stock. If not available from stock sample, we can apply the sample import permit. We can take the sample import permit from the FDA. Then manufacturer can dispatch easily. After that, we have to submit the dossier. Soft copy dossier is okay, but we have to submit both of hard copy, like administrative document, like as LOA, COPP, GMP, manufacturing license, and product permissions are required hard copy. After submission the dossiers and sample, FDA will issue us to remit the laboratory fees. Then FDA will review details and FDA will issue us preview documents for the complete set of dossier. If dossiers are not complete, FDA will ask additional more documents. After all complete submission, FDA will review details and they will issue approval to remit registration fees. After that, we will receive the update drug registration certificate. This is the 8th process for renewal process. I would like to suggest to start the renewal process before 1 year validity of the DRC, because if over validity of the DRC, FDA will charge the penalty fees as monthly. So that's why we would like to suggest to start before 1 year. For the nutraceutical and food supplement, there's not required the sample to dispatch to Myanmar, only requires 7 things soft copy documents, like as letter of authorization, ISO, HACCP, GMP, that one option can accept. FSAI for Indian products are required, and the COA. COA tests with physical, chemical, microbiological, heavy metal tests are required on COA. And labeling outward primary and secondaries both are required. And the actual sample photo, primary, secondary photos are required. And composition list. Composition lists are required with the INS number, should be mentioned on the composition list. These are the requirements for the food supplement submission required documents. And there's a not too much step. Registration, receiving registration documents from manufacturer and submitting by online system and remitting assessment fees. Then FDA will review our application details and FDA will respond if any queries are required. And then FDA will issue as the import recommendation for food supplement. So food supplement is very easy to get the registration. Another one is cosmetics and medical device. Both are the same. Requirements are also nearly same. Process are also same. So receiving the documents for submission, submitting by online system, and assessment fees remitting, then FDA will review details our application and they will respond on query any additional documents. Then FDA will issue as the cosmetic notification for cosmetic, IR import recommendation for medical device. These are the registration steps. So for the pharmaceutical products, I would like to suggest one thing. So dossier preparation must be careful because sometimes dossiers and samples are not matched. For example, samples specifications are USP, but they provide the dossier as a BP, so that will be rejectable. So that's why samples and dossier must be the same. This is my just suggestion. So thanks for giving me a chance. I would like to hand over to Mr. Praveen. So if any questions, so please let me know.
Mr. Than, once you started your session, the question arises many. I am not sure how many I'm going to pick, but yes, definitely we are going to ask some, which are basics actually. Few people wish to know, including me, like what is the fee structure of dossier submission, renewal, and for lab testing? How it is?
It is roughly $500 US to $700 US for government fees because depends on the product to product. It is a little different on the laboratory fees.
Okay.
Yes.
So this 500 to 700 is for dossier submission or for renewal?
It is government fees. It is including assessment fees and the registration fees and the laboratory fees.
Oh, okay. Okay, great.
Yes, it is actual government fees.
People are asking about stability data. Like the first, stability data is mandatory. The second in the same is which zone stability data is required. It's a 4, 4B or any other would be accepted. And third, with the same question, how many batches stability data is required?
Stability is mandatory requirement. FDA always check in the stability data. And these are required at least 3 batches. 3 batches. Zone 4B stability data are required because FDA not accept the other zone stability because it must be the submit with the zone 4B only.
Okay, okay. Still, one question came from one of the exported. I think he is not mentioning his name, but they wish to know the products is already registered. For example, azithromycin is one product which is already registered with one importer. Can the same product with another brand name could be given to any other second importer in Myanmar?
Yes, currently different brands are acceptable.
For the same molecule?
Yeah, same molecule. Yes.
Okay. And is that the person has to take NOC from the first importer in such situation?
Not required. Not required.
Not required. It can be processed.
Because different brand is not require NOC.
Okay. To understand more about regulatory aspects, we would like to understand on GMP part. Like, if plant is not approved in any PICS country, but still it's from US FDA or TZA Australia or EU GMP, so it could be processed, and based on these three credentials, the manufacturer are going to get any advantage like faster registration or some extra advantage?
Regarding GMP, FDA accept with the GMP, WHO GMP, and including with the inspection report and the CAPA creative action and preventive action required, if not have the PIS approval.
Okay.
Yes.
The plant is EU GMP approved, so any advantage with that?
We can submit the WHO GMP. FDA still accept the WHO GMP. They not limit the new GMP or not like that.
I think I feel Mr. Somen wish to, okay, it has not been introduced, but I feel he's wish to share his view on this. Mr. Somen, please welcome if you wish to say something on this. You are mute.
Yes, what Mr. Than has said is absolutely right, because as far as the notification and the guideline given by the MOE, Ministry of Health or FDA, they have mentioned that WHO GMP, if you don't have a PICS GMP, you can give your last 2 years, last 2 inspection report of WHO GMP along with CAPA in English. Okay, but in the guideline, it was not mentioned for anything for US FDA or UGMP. But certainly, if site is having UGMP in US FDA, if not by paper, but overall, it must get some benefit. Like they must be having WHO GMP or and a very very well established the reports, inspection reports. So although in the guideline they mentioned WHO and PICS name, they have not mentioned EU and US FDA. So hence, that's the answer which Mr. Than has given is absolutely correct.
Okay, that will be the concept of friends with benefits. Like if you have a US FDA, US GMP, then definitely you are going to get some advantage.
Okay. Yeah, of course, definitely, yes.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Than, we are taking one more question before, because the query is long. It like, FDA has raised the query and you have to give the response. It's like same. So the timeline of registration for drug and food and cosmetic, is that different or same timeline could be opted for registration?
Those are different. For medicine, they are taking within 1 or 2 years currently. For food supplement, we can get within 4 or 5 months right now. Cosmetic also nearly same. So only taking a long time for medicine, but FDA is trying to faster, because they are trying many new online system and new process by online system that is very helpful for both sides, manufacturer and also FDA also reduce the workload because very effective online. So now they are trying to faster to give the within short time.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. So we have almost understood the basic requirement, and again we will opt some questions from Facebook or YouTube as well as in WhatsApp group. Before proceeding about business and how to establish organization, still I'll hand over to Mr. Saurabh to process with our next speaker. And thank you, Mr. Tan, to being part of LPC, and you have shared your precious time to us, especially on Sunday. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Praveenji, and thank you, Mr. Than, for sharing your experience and knowledge about the regulatory environment of Myanmar. Regulatory affairs is followed by understanding of the business environment and market entry. And to understand it better, today we have Mr. Soman Datta Roy. Mr. Soman brings along with him close to 3 decades of experience in pharmaceutical industry. His career started in 1994 in the Indian domestic market, for where he has worked for approximately 12 years. In 2007, his international pharmaceutical journey started with the assignment of country manager, Caribbean Islands. From 2010 to 2021, he has been the country manager for Cambodia and Myanmar for Khandelwal Laboratories. And in 2022, Mr. Soman has decided to start his own venture by the name International Pharma Consultancy, where he is providing consultancy services for pharmaceutical players in Southeast Asia, Africa, and CIS. So, Mr. Soman, thank you for very much for being with us today. And I would like you to please start your presentation about the business environment and the market entry of Myanmar market. Over to you, Mr. Soman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Saurabh and Mr. Praveen and Mr. You have introduced me, in brief, my career and everything of my, last 12 years of journey in Myanmar, as well as my 26, 27 years of experience in pharma industry, in domestic and international. So, as I have already completed a decade in this country, Myanmar, and I have been operating from Myanmar in a couple of countries. So it's I take this onset to thank you LPC to introduce me in this platform, and I'm privileged to, and it's my honor to be here along with all the renowned pharmaceutical professionals, my the seniors. There are a lot of students, there are newcomers, but it gives an immense pride for me to be in this platform and to present about the Myanmar as well as the business cases, business portfolio. So to start with the presentation for me, let me make this full screen. Is it you can see it?
Not yet, Soman. You have to start with the share screen option.
Yes, already. Oh, sorry. Yes, 1 minute. Let me share the screen.
It's a green tab in the middle.
It's okay, sir. Yeah, it's done now. You can see it now.
Yes, it is visible. Yes.
Okay, let me put it full screen now.
Full screen. Yes.
Is it now? You can see it.
Perfect. We can start.
Perfect. Thanks. Thank you. So to start with the Myanmar market overview for 21-22. So I'll be touching upon certain points which may be useful for all of us to understand, and it's a brief outline of the Myanmar market. That's in market overview and country demography. What's the market size apparently, and therapeutic segment, and the doctors population based on the specialities, and who are the major importing countries, major exporting countries to Myanmar, and the SWOT. And also there are certain other aspects. As far as Myanmar market overview, let me put it a little bit of in a brief way. That Myanmar in 2020, the importation in Myanmar was approximately $590 million in CIF price. But in 2021, that importation came around 530 million. But these figures I have been talking is for except the border trade and any other parallel imports, And but the best sign of this market is that 2007-8, this market had around 100 and 120 million dollar only, which has come to approximately 600 million in 2021. So that means there's a big jump of market turnover in this country, and that's one of the reasons why the major companies of India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, as well as from the different other places were keen to enter into Myanmar market. And that's probably has given this jump from 100-120 million in 7-8 to a span of 13-14 years to 600 million. However, as Mr. Saudo was telling a few times back, that there are certain multinationals like Roche and Takeda, Sandoz. They had their own marketing team here, which they have taken out, and they have given the marketing right or gone into the outright business model with the local importers, wherein local importers and distributors, they have started marketing their products. The reasons for multinationals to take out their team is because of the pricing factor and the ROI against the huge marketing expenses which is prevailing in this country now. Among the Indian companies, yes, Sun Pharma, Dr. Reddy's, Glenmark, Cipla, Wockhardt, Emcure, Zydus Cadila, I forgot to mention the name, are the major players in this market. Apart from, there are many local players, local companies who have also contributed a lot in last 5-7 years in terms of their business growth, in terms of bringing newer products, and also contributed heavily to the whole market size. Like other countries, in Myanmar also during and after the COVID era, there was a nutraceuticals which was registered in this country. A lot of companies from India and a lot of other places of the world, and which also have given a very big boost in the whole market and opened the newer avenues to enter some untapped segment. Secondly, the manufacturing sites. Although the country had 2-3 manufacturing sites before 2015 also, but after post 2015, there are a lot of manufacturing units has been set up for the finished formulations in Myanmar. That could be it's the first step towards the localization, because recently there was around 3.5% of additional duty which is imposed for certain few imported products which are imported in this country or also manufactured locally by the local companies. So that's probably the first step for the localization. So before we go to the other market informations, let me just show you that there are 2 slides. One slide is the GDP of year on year for Myanmar, and the second slide will be the turnover of Myanmar pharmaceutical market. If you see the GDP, which has been in its peak in 2020, which is around $78.93 billion as per the World Bank data, which was because of COVID and other factors, it has slipped down in 21, approximately $65 billion as in GDP of Myanmar, but is expected to rise to approximately 73 to 75, around $74 billion by 2022 end. That figure will definitely come a little later after we enter into 2023. So if you see this Myanmar GDP as a whole country from 58 to 76, 75, it has come up already as per the World Bank data. So when we see the GDP of Myanmar, we can also see the pharmaceutical importation year on year. I have put here the comparison or the Myanmar pharmaceutical importation since 2011. As I have been saying you in the first slide, that in 2007-8 the market was up around $100 and $120 million as an import value, but this figure has come up to around 593 in the year of 2020. And 2021, yes, it has got a little bit of dip of to 533. So nevertheless, this market has grown from 100, 120 to in next 13-14 years, it has come up to somewhere near 600 million. And I read some of the articles wherein experts and some of the some of the analytical organizations, they have forecasting around $1.1 billion in 2024. Approximately the Myanmar healthcare turnover. So if it comes to 1.1 billion even in 2024, I would say that this is a great jump which Myanmar will be featured in Myanmar pharmaceutical industry. Now, once we let's go to some of the important facts of the Myanmar market. As in the Myanmar Medical Association, the general physicians, which is around contributing 31% of the doctors population, which is around 21,000. And the Ministry of Health, of course, they are trying to implement the universal health coverage program nationwide by 2020-30. And the still market remains largely untapped with the substantial opportunities, which we will be showing in later slides. Myanmar market is growing the fast because of the high domestic demands, and also especially in the rural areas, the disease awareness of the people are quite less. So, there are, getting into a lot of chronic diseases, unknowingly. The one biggest issue of Myanmar is that the medical expenses of around 93% was being borne by the patients, because, the making it the highest out-of-pocket rate among the Southeast Asian countries. You will see this therapeutic segment wise. As far as disease is concerned, therapeutic segment is concerned, cardio-diabetic segment have the most growth potential, followed by vitamins, analgesics, antibiotics, and allergy components and cough and cold. 60% of the Myanmar market, whether it's the OTC or is a drug, it's from the Yangon and Mandalay, the two biggest city of this country. And if anybody is entering to this Myanmar, of course, Yangon, Mandalay is the two biggest city where they have to tap first to get the major business. Most important point, Myanmar business culture has its uniqueness and complications, wherein this choosing the right partner, the right importing partners, right distribution partner, or right marketing partner, it's a key success factor to thrive this market. It's just a demography. It's not much of these are information slides. It's around 55 million populations of Myanmar. Life expectancy approximately 69 years. And the male-female ratio is around 50 to 48, which is around 0.93 male versus female. And this market is also having a lot of traditional medicine hospitals and traditional medicine clinics that we will see in the later slides. Like other countries, the consumers is around this process of the business, the channel partners. It starts with the wholesalers, dealers, doctors, obviously, government and private hospitals. Modern trade has come up quite heavily in this country now. There are GP clinics, polyclinics. Retail chain is one of the factor which has come up in last 2-3 years, 4 years, wherein a lot of retail chains has come up in across the city, across the country. And tender business, there are Ministry of Health, there are Ministry of Defense tenders. So these are the factors which is driving the business for the Myanmar as a whole. I would say, as far as the doctors population, specialty segmentation, it's approximately 31% GP and physician, around 10%, which contributes around 40-45%, which is the GP and physician. And there are some other segment, other specialty doctors also. And this 19% is a green area that's coming from the other specialty which are not featured here. So around 45% of Myanmar doctors in universe population is around 45% is general physicians and physicians, who are the major driver of the business. This data is, I will suggest you not to go by the percentage exactly, because this is all import data, wherein it's being shown that there are products like cardiovascular and hemopoietic segments, and as well as the endocrine and metabolic system, which is diabetic products, which is contributing together around 22% of the whole market importation. This figure was around 7, 8, 9% few years back. So this is an gross understanding of the market, that cardiovascular diabetic market is growing at a rapid pace in this country. So the companies who are entering to this country of Myanmar, definitely they should keep in mind that these are the major segment where the market is going towards. So, but however, this as far as import data is concerned, there are a lot of segmented products which comes under unspecified category, so which is around 38%. So the specialty, because there are certain antibiotics which is being featured in the import data as an unspecified category. So don't go by this number, but it's you can see this in the therapeutic segment or the disease pattern which country is going towards. So this is the analysis of this slide will be what are the products we should choose and to go ahead in Myanmar, who are entering into this country or trying to expand in Myanmar. This is the major exporting country to country, Myanmar. It's India still remains as the number one, which is approximately 39%. India's contribution to Myanmar importing products in pharmaceuticals, followed by definitely Thailand, and the France, China. There is Bangladesh. So and still there are some other countries which are contributing around 16-17%, which includes Portugal, Cyprus, Egypt, and others, UK also. So India remains as the number one exporting country to the Myanmar. So definitely it's a market to look at for the Indian pharmaceutical companies. And of course, the Bangladesh companies also doing quite good here, and they're expanding quite fast. Apart from the data, this is the analysis which I would say that is a gross analysis of the market as a whole. There are a lot of strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. This country, Myanmar, has got abundant natural resources, which are land, water, and gas, minerals. They got the agriculture resources quite big, and the youthful population. You might have seen my demographic slide that around 43% of the populations belongs to the age group of 25 to 54, and the low cost labor force, which is also the strong point of this country. But there are certain weaknesses which I think this can be changed in a quick span. That's a limited economic diversifications, then the low education and health management. There's a lacking of the modern technology or inadequate infrastructure in terms of telecommunications and electricity in the rural areas mostly. Second part, the most important, I have seen this World Bank of Myanmar Economic Monitor 2022. They have said 40% of the Myanmar populations are under the national poverty line. That is one of the reasons why this last point has come. The rural population depends on traditional medicine, because if the population, if the below poverty line, the peoples, they will look for some economical way to treat the diseases. So that's why the traditional medicines, which has become a little bit of prominent in this country now. There are a lot of opportunities as far as geographical location. It's one of the strategic location in Asian region. For MNCs, this is the potential for investments, and nowadays the inclination towards the mobile banking, online pharmacies, teleconsultation with family doctors, healthcare digitization. Are also have come up quite well. So that's an opportunity I could see from this market. Generic market and OTC is also growing. Public-private partnership to strengthen infrastructure. There are a lot of hospitals which has been set up in here. And also especially in the rural markets, in the non-metro markets, through the digital platform, the marketing penetration has gone up, and the large demand of the quality medical devices, medical services. However, any country, for the strengths, weakness, and opportunities, there are certain threats that will be, of course, it should be overcome in a short span. Inflation, as per as June 22, it's approximately 20%, 19.42%, which is, I would say, it's quite high as of now. Economy is a little bit of volatile, and the currency has devaluated in last 1 year, almost 200% in the market. Since this country is, there are a lot of borders, so chances of the counterfeiting drugs must be there. There is no drug price control. However, Ministry of Health is doing a fantastic job here, that for social media page, all the importer, distributor, they have to, in their side, they have to put the price list in the social media, so that, so there is no misuse of any price hike or anything. So it is documented and registered. That's a good thing which Ministry of Health is doing. The second thing which Mr. Than was saying, that as of now, the time consuming for the FDA regulatory process, which is a little bit of in the higher side, but however, Ministry of Health has done a very technical and very smooth online system now, which they have adopted very recently, which will reduce the time span of product registration in a shorter span, in a very short time, because the systems are so technical as well as so smooth, so that it should not take much of time once you submit the dossier and samples. So the evaluation process will be faster, and in near future, the product registration time, which is presently around 2 years now, I hope it will come down to 1.5 years, in between, nearly to 1 year. That's what I expect. And certain importation difficulties which countries are undergoing now for the import license purpose and all, I think that's a very temporary issues which country can overcome very short time. So post SWOT, there is also one part of the business. There are certain companies who was always asking me what is the importation process. So let me go to the importation process straight away. As Mr. Than said, when you get the drug registration certificates, that's an DRC, we call it as. And for the nutraceuticals, it's an IR, import recommendation. So there is a policy of the Myanmar FDA that you have to have a DIAC, drug importation authorization certificate. The importer who will be importing the product, that importing company has to enlist the products under their under their name. That means that any particular brand will be attached to a particular importer who can only import the products. Nobody else can. So that is the called DIAC. Once you get the DRC, and then the product has to be attached to one of the importers, whoever your pharmaceutical companies are going ahead with for the business. So this product's name will be attached to that particular local company's importation data, and that company can only import. After you get the DIAC attachment done in the FDA, you can always apply for the import license as a local company. They will apply the import license. Once they get the import license, it's valid for 3 months now. So they can always import the products, and the exporter like India and Bangladesh, Pakistan, or whoever country is exporting, they can send the shipment, and the goods has to arrive in the country within this import license period. So that's an importation process as of now in this country. So apart from the outline of Myanmar pharma market as well as the importation process, so I put an end of my presentation here. And I must say thank you to all of you for listening to me. And I would say if you have any question, I'm open here. I'm staying here. Please let me know. And so that, any question, I can answer it. And before I end, I should say that I am presenting my contact details. So if whoever wants to contact me, you can contact me in this email ID as well as the phone numbers. So I can be always try to assist you in all the matters to going ahead for Myanmar and any other countries. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. I hope it is useful to all of us, and we can proceed ahead. I'm over to Mr. Saurabh.
Thank you, Samanda. This was a very detailed presentation on the Myanmar market, quite much to comprehend, and it was really a fast pace because of time limitations. It was very difficult for you to compress all the information and knowledge you have about Myanmar market. What I understood is that the demand is increasing, and so is the GDP, and that is also evident from the importation data that the import of pharmaceuticals has increased. The interesting part is that close to 90% is out of pocket expenses, and that is very unique because in most of the markets the trend is more towards insurance and institutional sales, but for Myanmar market still 90% of out of pocket. 60% of OTC market lies in just two countries, which is Myanmar and Mandalay. And what you mentioned is that the cardio-diabetic or the chronic disease market is the major market shareholder in all the therapeutic segments. So that's something which is very exciting for all the pharmaceuticals players who are willing to enter into the Myanmar market. I have some questions related to your presentations. You mentioned that even though there are very good opportunities in market, but there are some unique complications that are associated to the Myanmar market, and that is why you have to be very careful while choosing the import partner. So what is that the unique complications, particularly of the Myanmar market? I would like to understand from you.
It's frankly speaking, which I've also practically experienced here. In Myanmar has a policy that if you are working with one importer, and somehow the business acumen or business relationship is not satisfactory from either end. If you are willing to come out of the importing partner and go to somebody else, we have seen in a couple of cases, there is some some of the people are reluctant to give the NOCs and to go ahead. So that's the one area where you should be very careful while it happens in many countries. I have personally experienced here in one or two places. So when I say that you should be very careful when you are choosing the importing partner, because one is the business understanding. So my suggestion would be, if you are giving the product on an outright business model, you should be very clear on what sort of business prices, what is the quantities, annual business volume. Should be very clear and transparent rather than keeping in the dark. so that in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the line, so either party, neither the importing company nor the principal who is supplying the product should have any troubles. And also it has also seen in other way around also, because I have seen a couple of local importer, they have paid the advance payment to the supplier, and 6 months time goods did not come in this country. That is also wrong from the supplier side. So I would suggest that both the party, whether it's importing partner or the supplier, should set up a proper agreement wherein none of them should suffer for any business loss or any financial loss, or for any sort of technical issues they should fall in. So the agreement and the understanding should be very clear from the day one. That's why choosing a right importing partner is very important here. That's what I mean.
Okay, thank you, Samantha. Continuing your advice, is it possible to have multiple importers for different products? Right now, companies have very large portfolio. They also have nutraceuticals, OTC, critical care, and all that. And one
Yes,
single
you can.
partner might not be able to justify the portfolio. So, is it possible to have multiple partner importers?
You can. Yes,
Okay,
always. If
okay.
Only the same brand cannot be same brand to be one brand to one importer only. You cannot give the other distributors. But yes, you can go to multiple parties with different brands and different products, different segments.
Okay, is it compulsory to take NOC from the first importer? Is it something like that?
No. If
Okay,
you are
okay,
if you are not making the same brand, of course you cannot do. If you are, suppose one party you have given product A, another party product B, you don't have to take any NOC from anybody.
Okay, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Some other one more question. In Southeast Asian markets, we have seen a trend of traditional and herbal medicines. That this segment does not appear in any data, but it is very prominent. So, what is the situation in Myanmar? I mean, we are seeing that herbal trend and nutraceutical trend is increasing. So, is there any chance for this OTC segment to penetrate into traditional medicine?
Yes, there are a lot of herbal products is registered here in Myanmar, like Himalayan drugs have registered. There are a lot of products. But nowadays, these herbal products, they are putting in under the traditional medicine segment. There is a factory called FAME here, FAME. They have a very large base of business here in Myanmar. Okay, but there are a lot of herbal products is there, and they are going to come also. Himalayan drugs are there. There are like many herbs. Ginkgo biloba, we call it as herbs. So it's a combination which is available with anything. So if you consider as a frank herbal, yes, it will come under traditional medicines, wherein Myanmar has got a very large base of business for traditionals. But herbal, yes, some products, even there are some cough lozenges which are also herbal, which is available in this country, and are doing very well, which is manufactured in India. So herbal products will have their own market, no doubt. It has its own unique benefit for the healthcare system.
Thank you. One of the major concern for most of the exporters to the Myanmar market is the currency devaluation and availability of forex. So, is it still a concern, or do you advise any remedy for that?
No, it's frankly speaking, when devaluation happens for any country currencies, whether it's India, Myanmar, or any country, there is a scarcity of the US dollars, no doubt about it. So unless you have your export earning in this country, so you can't speed up your dollar fund. So yes, because of the currency devaluation and a lot of other reasons, the dollar scarcity is there, and there is a devaluation of the currency. But Central Bank of Myanmar has given a straight factor that 2,100 shares per dollar. That's a standard rate for the Central Bank of Myanmar. But in outside market, the rate shoot up to even 3,500, 4,000. Now it's somewhere near 2,850, 2,900. Still, there is a gap in terms of the Central Bank of Myanmar rate and also the market. But remedy is what, with the dollar influx has to be more, the export goes well, and there is no remedy unless you have your dollar fund here more. So that's the only remedy. But the market goes with the market rates, not the CVM. But when you importing in the country, or you are sending money to other country, it has to be from the central bank rate.
Okay. So that means LC is still the most safest method of payments for Myanmar.
Yes, LC. There are companies still taking LC. Even in past also, LC was there.
Mhm.
So LC for any country is okay, but it depends on supplier and importer, deal, how they want to put it as. Some company, they import directly in Myanmar as a buyer and consignee, both are in Myanmar, but some
Okay,
company,
okay.
they import through Singapore. So from Myanmar, they have to
Exactly.
spend the fund to Singapore, and from Singapore, they remit to the principals. So
Okay.
it depends on how you want to operate.
Yes, we have seen this trend that a lot of companies have offices in Singapore and the LCs are received from Singapore, maybe because of the
Yeah,
fast receipt of LC or the funds management.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's depends on their business strategy, how they want to put it as. But somebody importing from Singapore, somebody importing directly from the supplying country, it depends
Mhm.
on both things.
Okay. One last question before I move
Yes.
to Mr. Praveen for taking questions from the audience. Is there any price restriction on pharmaceutical products by the government?
No, as far as it's like India, we have a MRP system. Here is nothing is there.
Mhm.
But yes, during this period of the fluctuation of the exchange rates, there
Mhm.
are the companies who have they definitely, all the company had to increase the selling price. There's no option,
Mhm.
because otherwise they will run at loss. But there were definitely some products prices will shoot up very high, which MOH wanted to control it. They have
Mhm.
put the things into the social media, like all the import the distribution company, they have to put their price list on social media, so that the chances
Okay.
should be minimized for any misuse of it.
Okay.
In
Okay.
that way, I would say that the authority is doing a quite a good job here.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Samantha. Thank you so much for detailed, answers of my questions. Now, I would like to hand over the session to Mr. Praveen. I'm pretty sure he must be having some questions from the audiences. It's been more than an hour since the session is on. So, Mr. Praveen, over to you.
Thank you, Saurabh. Yes, the queue is very long of queries, but we are not picking much. Already you have initiated one, which I have chosen from FB on price. But the query is a bit different than yours. Here, the situation India is known as pharmaceutical hub, especially in generic markets. So, like as we have mentioned, WHO and CAPA report is enough to get GMP. Here, the query related way: if one manufacturer is providing azithromycin with WHO and CAPA report, the second manufacturer, he is also providing azithromycin, but he has your approval of UGMP. He has to maintain one big standard. In that situation, the price would be very different. Like if one is giving in 40 cent, another can offer in 70 cents. So, and both are from India, both are coming as a generic, not as brand. So how this price gapping would be managed in Myanmar?
Yes, I tell you, this is the way you make your marketing plan. I tell you a small example. A generic called letrozole. You all know it. In Myanmar last year, the total importation was 600 million. Sorry, it was 600,000, $6 lakh. $600,000 was the importation in 2021 for letrozole tablet. Okay, out of that, $5,70,000 was imported by the two leading brands, Sun Pharma and also there is a company from Germany. So definitely these companies are not selling in the low price. Okay. So considering the patient's economic profile, the two leading brand who having the highest price bracket, they have imported 90%, almost 95% of the whole market. Whereas there are one-third price products. They also imported for $5,000-$10,000. So that is what I say, that it's and this price bracket is there in every country. Whether 50 cents product, some company will have 80 cents CIF. But I tell you that depends on how you want to put the products into in the market. So how you put it, like a company of the high price bracket product, they talked about the quality, they talked about R&D, they have their API, DMF. You can see a lot of things. So if you want to easily make some sales, you go to the generic market, and that time you will have the price war. So if you want to build a brand, spend on your product in the market, spend on marketing expenses, do a lot of activities to make the brand awareness. You take the product in a high price and make it possible. But if you want to make a smaller market, but you want to get an immediate sales, you want to just go and sell the product in generic market, either you have to import in a lesser price or you have to make your margin short in this country. So it depends on the same azithromycin. You can put it in two different way. One, you go for the brand building. Other one, if you want the generic sales, you go for generic sales. So that's what is my way of thinking. You can, because this market, even you see in omeprazole, there's a leading brand which having the 4 times price hike. They are still maintaining the #1 position in this country. So although economic profile is being known, there are a lot of patients are it's an alarming condition for certain places, but that's how you put the product in the market. That's what I believe.
One more, the last which I'm picking, it's related with regulatory as well as business. So it's open for you both. The situation of manufacturer that they have beta-lactam block also in the same unit. That could be accepted in Myanmar on basis of WHO CGMP India and CAPA report, or it should be approval from PICS or UGM?
See, it's an I'd say that for whether it is a beta lactams, there are a lot of antibiotics. So the same generic name. See, as far as what Mr. Than has told, that till now it is acceptable. Like, from the same site, you can put two different brand of same generic. But I'm not sure for future how it's going to be. Okay, it might so happen that now it is there. Some company I know there are two amlodipines, two XYZ from the same site. But in future, I have a doubt that how long it will be continued. Like, sooner or later it will be just like Cambodia, that one brand and one site.
One import. Okay.
So it should be coming. But till now, as Mr. Than has told, yes, still there are companies that are putting the dossier like that. But I'm not sure about the future. That future will tell.
Okay, it's nice information. Actually, immense information has been shared, and we also have learned many things from you and from Mr. Than about Myanmar. Definitely, it will help in our personal as well as professional part of career. The viewers, definitely, they are very attentive and they have inquired a lot, but there is some limitations of time. Definitely, you both have shared your contact details. And if they have more queries, they definitely will reach. If they are reaching to us, we will forward the same to Mr. Soman and Mr. Than. Thank you so much for this. The session is on last, and we are going to over with Mr. Arpan Paul.
Thank you so much, Praveenji. In fact, there have been lots of appreciations that have been flooding in through Facebook and YouTube. So let me name a few of them who have sent across their appreciation for both our speakers, Mr. Than and Mr. Soman. It's Mr. Yashwant Mishra, Mr. Pankaj Srivastav, Mr. Nasiruddin Chishti, Mr. ICS Verma, Ms. Purnima Kanojia, Mr. Shiv Shankar Maurya, Ms. Deepanita Sarkar, and Mr. Vipin Kumar Dikshit. So they have been constantly following your deliberations here on LPC 138, and they have posted their appreciations and good wishes to both our speakers. So thank you so much for this wonderful deliberations. But before that, I would like to thank our session support partner, that is Imagica Health, for their unfettered support towards our learning and sharing platform. Thank you so much, Imagica. Please continue your endeavor and your support towards LPC, Life Pharma Coalition. Now I will come back to all our speakers and moderators for their learnings from today's session. So first, I will come to Mr. Than. Mr. Than, this has been your first appearance on Life Pharma Coalition. So what has been your learnings from today's session?
I'm really appreciate and thank you all of you and the group of LPC group. This is my first time joining Zoom meeting, and really thank you so much. And I also got the many experience and many knowledge from Mr. Soman also. because I'm living in Myanmar, but I'm not because I'm getting the many details from Mr. Suman. So, and also thank you all of you. I would like to say thank you for watching our live stream. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Than. In fact, we were also really impressed by the way you presented about the regulatory affairs in Myanmar. And I'm sure our audience have gained a lot of insight through your presentation. And we look forward to your presence once again on this world's largest learning and sharing platform, that is Live Pharma Coalition. Thank you so much. Now, next, I'll come to Mr. Somen. Sir, this has been your maiden appearance also on Live Pharma Coalition. So what are your learnings from today's session?
My learning is very clear that, but since I am sharing some of the facts on the platform, the same way I also get back lot of information from you all. So which is enriching my knowledge area where I am not comfortable with. And as you rightly said, the name LPC stand for the knowledge, global knowledge and network sharing. So this is because I have gone through your previous YouTube videos and all, and I have seen a lot of, you have a woman entrepreneurship, leadership, young leaderships. So there are a lot of things I have taken, but this platform definitely has taught me in last few weeks, last 1 week, and from today I will be taking forward to learn more and more for the different aspects from LPC.
Thank you so much, sir. In fact, we are deeply honored that a person like you is so much enthusiastic about this Live Pharma Coalition platform. And you are right, sir. We have different categories as far as LPC is concerned, right from leadership, young leadership. We also have academics. We have global, and of course, the women in pharmaceutical industry, the women leadership. So that's the variety that we present on Live Pharma Coalition as far as knowledge sharing is concerned. And I am absolutely sure that our audience gain a lot of insight. And in fact, Sundays are no longer fun days, but they are learn days. So we keep on learning every Sunday. So next, I'll come over to Mr. Praveen. He has been a stalwart as far as building LPC is concerned, and especially on the global stage. So what has been your learnings from today's session of Live Pharma Coalition?
Mr. Arpan, we believe that the development is always parallel with social development and personal. LPC has given us such platform where it has been developed in both ways. Like social development, yes, I'm getting so many contacts. Personal development, like I'm meeting with person like Mr. Somen, Mr. Tan, and getting more information about different locations. Today we have learned about Myanmar, and definitely it will help it sharpen my career more and more. So thank you so much for keeping us live on Live Pharma Coalition. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Praveen ji. In fact, yes, learning is caring, and if you care, please share. And that is exactly what we do on Live Pharma Coalition. We try to share whatever little we know, so that every little thing becomes a big thing, and we learn more and more. So next, I come over to Saurav Mishra ji. So Saurav ji, what has been your learnings from today's Live Pharma Coalition session?
Yeah, thank you, Arpanji, and thank you, LPC, for having me here once again. LPC has always added to my intellect, and this episode has also been the same. So I got to know what's the latest development, and more than that, I'm very humbled to meet two new, very learned gentlemen, yet very humble, Mr. Soman and Mr. Than. And I would like to personally thank Mr. Than for joining us on a very short notice due to an unfortunate event. The previous speaker has dropped out, so Mr. Than volunteered last evening only for gracing his presence on today's episode, and Mr. Soman was very efficient in sourcing Mr. Than for that. So thank you very much, both of the gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Praveen. It's always a pleasure to be a co-panelist with you, and thank you, LPC, for giving me a chance once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Saurav ji. In fact, your presence on Live Pharma Coalition is a great value addition. as far as our speakers are concerned, because through your experience on the international market, definitely you chip in with some of the very important points as well as great questions, which at the end of the day brings a lot of information to our audience. So thank you so much, Saurav ji. Well, we have come to the fag end of this session, so it's time for me to just give a word of caution that we are still not over with COVID. So please try to maintain the COVID appropriate behaviors of SMS, that is sanitization, mask and social distancing, and the compulsory vaccinations. And very soon this world will be totally free of COVID. At the same time, please keep your environment clean and green, because we do not have a planet B, so that we can give a great planet to our next generation, which is cleaner and greener than today. Now, it's always said that challenges are the bedrock of opportunity, because every challenge that comes to us is either going to make us or break us. But people who take this challenge as an opportunity are the one who excel in their life. So today I'm going to narrate you a small incident that once a man uh, found a butterfly that was trying to come out of the cocoon. As we all know that the metamorphosis happens and out of the cocoon emerges the butterfly. This man sat down and watched the butterfly struggle actually for hours, trying to come out of that cocoon, because it's a tedious process. It's a very hard process to come out of the cocoon. So this man was a very nice person, and he said that probably the butterfly is having some difficulty in coming out of that cocoon, and thought that it might be the right decision to help the or assist the butterfly to come out of the cocoon. So what he basically did, he took a pair of scissors and he just cut off the remaining part of the cocoon through which the butterfly was not able to come out. And the moment the man cut the part of the cocoon with the scissor, the butterfly emerged outside. Now the man sat down waiting for the butterfly to spread its wings and start flying, but that never happened, unfortunately. The butterfly spent the rest of its life unable to fly and just crawl around with small wings and a swollen body. So, did the man do anything wrong? He was a very kind-hearted person, but what he actually did, that he did not understand that the restricting cocoon and the struggle needed by the butterfly to get itself through the small hole were God's way of forcing the fluid from the butterfly to its wings, so to prepare itself to fly once it becomes free. So what did the man do? The man basically did something which was against the God's rule. So in life, our struggles are God's own way of making us stronger and building our resilience so that we can face adversity with confidence. So friends, take every challenge as an opportunity, never as a threat. And as Somin sir mentioned about the SWOT analysis, the strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. So it is every opportunity that comes in disguise as a threat. But the moment we take it in a good spirit, it becomes a great opportunity. And that reminds me of Sergei Bubka. Well, he was a man who fought against himself, the great pole vaulter, because he never had anyone near him who could actually challenge him. So what he did, he actually challenged his own self so that he could become a better version of himself for the next pole vault that he's going to do. So sometimes that is what life throws at us, where we don't have anyone challenging us. So never to become complacent, because that is what which destroys our creativity. Instead, let us try to be better than what we are today. So thank you so much to our wonderful speakers for such an enlightening session. Thank you so much to our moderator and panelists for adding such a lot of value to today's wonderful discussion. Well, it's Arpan Kumar Paul signing off for today with a promise of reconnecting with you next Sunday at the same time with a new set of speakers, a new set of thoughts, and a new set of learnings on Life Pharma Coalition. So have a wonderful Sunday. Goodbye and namaste from all of us.
Thank you. Good day.
Thank you. Good day.
Thank you, sir. So from here now, I'm ending this meeting. Have a great weekend to all.
Yeah, thank you, Prag. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.